Hello everyone and welcome to Zach's Garage. Now you join me on a very sunny day with a car that is incredibly special. Now all of you said when you first saw our car, Naraya this and Naraya that, where did you get the inspiration from? Well yes, obviously I got inspiration from the Agera RS Naraya. Now today I'm going to run you through some of the really special parts on this stunning car. Now if you want to know facts and figures on it, click somewhere on the screen, possibly here, there or there, to go watch my RSN video, which will give you all of the information on suspension, engine, performance. There'll be a little bit of it in this video, but generally we're going to look at the aesthetics, and there's a special treat at the end of the video as well, so make sure to stay tuned. Now let's talk about the first thing people see is the colour. Now our Koenigsegg is finished in a bespoke blue, as of the Naraya is also a bespoke blue, but the one thing I had to be very cautious of when speccing this car was the fact that when it's inside and in shade, it still looks blue, but in the sunshine it also looks like a very bright blue. Now a good way to combat the sort of common problem with blue being a darker colour is put diamonds in the lacquer. So we put diamonds in the lacquer, and contrasting with the gold, it looks fantastic. But let's move over to the Naraya, where you can see where the inspiration came from. Now obviously Naraya is finished in a much darker blue, and it's almost like it's a very deep blue, but you can also see this car finished on one of the 6 1-to-1s. Now you'll be seeing that car a little bit later, there's a hint towards that. So basically, this car is obviously a much darker blue, but with the gold, it makes the gold stand out and almost makes the gold look a bit more yellow. Now, in terms of gold, there is a lot thicker lines on it, which I do really love, but because this is the RS, it's a much more of an aggressive car, so it needed to have bolder lines and bolder accents to really make it, well, not stand out, but to highlight some of the features, such as the ducts, the fins, and all of the rest of it. So what's different compared to ours? Well, amazingly, the gold is still 24 karat gold, but it was also applied by the same person who did ours. One Italian man who sits in the factory, has his own little area and hand applies gold to the few cars that decide to put 24 karat gold on their car. Now, in terms of the wheels, the RS still features the carbon air core wheels, but has one very interesting thing. Now, these center caps, the single locking wheel nut finished in gold, I really love. Now the reason for this is because when we actually had the gold caps on our car, it looked a bit too yellow because we have gold wheels, whereas with the black wheels with the gold nugget it looks really smart, and there's also with the gold line in the middle, and yes, that is also 24 karat gold leaf. Now, the side profile is completely different to the Regera because obviously they're two different cars, but there are some similarities, including this line down here, but because this is the RS, it's got certain aerodynamic benefits, and that is one of them. So that is obviously a mini splitter inside, but it also has the blue Koenigsegg wording. I love that. Now, the one difference is that if we look down here, you've got this gold line down here, but no gold line on the bottom splitter. Well, ours has got the gold line on the bottom splitter, but not up here. Now, the reason for this is this has got quite an impressive air duct, especially at the back where it flexes out. Whereas the side, the bottom bit of it, it's sort of just another splitter. So what we did is we flipped it over. Instead of having the gold line here, we had it there and not there. But we had the gold line here because, well, unfortunately there is such thing as too much gold. The rear of the car is also something that is rather impressive, but because it has a lot more simple lines on it, it was a lot easier to make a car look very aggressive. Now if we look at here, you've got a gold line going down the spoiler. Now this is something I did consider, but if you look on the Regera, it only has one wing in the middle, and when it goes down you've still got the winglets on the side. Well, the fact that it's got winglets on the side, I thought, well, when the wing's down, which actually, now I think of it, barely is ever, because you can keep it up if you want to, which I always do. The fact is, I've now got gold lines on the side, but not on the wing, because when the wing's down, you'll see just a random circle of gold. It would look a little bit odd, whereas with this, because it has one solid line, it looks really smart. But I took the gold line from the corner here, and put it on the side wing. And obviously all of the gold on our car is a lot thinner, just because I thought it looked a bit more elegant. I think the Regera, this might sound a bit controversial, is a more elegantly styled car rather than the brutish Agera RS. Now, under the rear carbon clam is something truly extraordinary, and it's something I want to talk about when we get into the interior as well. But first of all, let me open the back up. With the engine bay of this RS, the Naraya, is the fact that you can see a lot of blue. And on a lot of other cars you can't see if they're tinted, the engine bay in the same colour. That's because this car has the full blue option. Now what that is it means the underpinnings of this car, the monocoque, the roof and everything that is structural is also tinted. And you can't, well mostly, you can't see the blue. But to know it's there is one thing, but there are ways to tell. The first thing you'll notice, the blue air intake. Also the 24 karat gold leaf gas struts, and wording in gold leaf, the Koenigsegg triplex suspension, Koenigsegg wording and the Agera RS logo as well. But there is also one other special thing that I haven't seen on a Koenigsegg yet. A little homage to the McLaren F1, the gold on the engine lining. Now if you know about gold, it is a very good conductor of heat and is also very effective in engine bay, so it's not just for a pretty look as well. Now with the full blue option, as mentioned, the only ways to tell are the big carbon blue sills. You've got the roof lining, which isn't covered in Alcantara, you can see is blue. The centre console, which you can see is a matte blue, and other small bits as well that you can see just justify the fact that it is genuinely blue carbon absolutely everywhere. Also, one of my favourite parts is the fact that it has a blue carbon steering wheel. But it really suits this certain steering wheel. As I said before, this is a really aggressive car, whereas the Regera is, well, I feel like the Regera is a bit more stylish. It's a bit more of a handbag, but a handbag with spikes on it. So, other parts of this that are genuinely bespoke and that no other Koenigsegg has, I truly believe, is certain things like the fact that when you switch this car on, all of the centre console lights are blue and yellow, or well, blue and gold, but obviously they can't have gold as an external colour, and the centre console, as soon as you switch on, greets you with Naraya. Now the one thing, side note completely towards the spec of this car, is the seats. The one thing I love about the RS is these seats, they're just outrageous. They're really firm, but somehow perfectly suited to someone who is my shape, and let me know what you think my shape is down in the comments. Be polite. There's points extra if you're polite. But other ways also that you can tell the full blue is the fact that in the middle of the seat you can see it's blue carbon. Now, I think it's got to be pretty impressive to know that you're sitting on blue carbon, but yet you'd never know unless you took the leather off, or in this case the Alcantara. Certain other bits of the interior include the 24 karat gold leaf rings around the air vents. I love that. Personally, I really love that. I wish I was actually trying to go for that on our Regera, but instead I did the centre knobs in gold because of the fact that the actual material that the air vents are made out of, the gold wouldn't have quite suited it. So we decided against that. But instead of waffling on about all the wonderful things, I think we'll just head to some B-roll so you can see all of the amazing features of this car. As guaranteed, there is a special part of this video, but it's also a teaser to next week's video. So, without further ado, Dunsfold Aerodrome. So as promised, there'll be something interesting happening in today's video, but it's only a teaser for not next week, but the week after's video. So, what is it? Well, we're at Dunsfold. We've got a Regera. We've got the Agera RS Naraya. we've got a Koenigsegg 1-to-1 and we have an empty airfield. I'll catch you in a couple of weeks.